everyone? The 2025 NBA Draft is, of course, tonight. We are going to talk about it a little bit in this video, but obviously we all know who's going to go number one. It's Cooper Flagg. He's been the confirmed number one pick by the Dallas Mavericks, so he will, of course, be going number one in tonight's 2025 NBA Draft. But that doesn't mean there's a lot we got to talk about, especially with this team right here. The New Orleans Pelicans yesterday made a big trade in the NBA, trading for Jordan Poole. They gave C.J. McCollum and Kelly Olynyk up, and they also get a second-rounder in return for this year's NBA Draft as well. So, Pelicans, they made a big trade. The Atlanta Hawks also made a big trade last night, trading for Kristaps Porzingis from the Boston Celtics. He was on that 2024 championship run team, and he played really well during that stretch. So, big man in Atlanta is happening, and yeah, I'm just very glad that we got one of those experienced big men on the floor now. But in today's video, we, of course, are going to be talking about Team War Ready, like the title states, the Auburn Basketball Alumni Team as they gear up for the TBT, which does, in fact, start next week, I believe. It starts in July, so it should be a very fun game. Yeah, it starts July 19th for just for that information right there. It starts on July 19th, so that is next week, or actually like 2 weeks from now, my bad. But we are going to predict it, talk about it. We'll talk about the Auburn Basketball Alumni Team and talk about which players that I would like to see grow more and more as they develop into their, obviously, careers and stuff like that. So, hit that sub button, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, turn that bell on also, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Tomorrow, we will have our predictions for the Gold Cup as well, and predict the FIFA Club World Cup on Friday. So stay tuned. Those knockout stages predictions will be live tomorrow and Friday, of course. So hit that sub button, leave a comment down below. And without further ado, let us go ahead and hop in to this TBT bracket prediction. Alright, so without further ado, let us go ahead and hop right into the video. For starters, we will talk about the Team War Ready roster and then go ahead and predict this TBT bracket as well. So, again, we are talking all things TBT, and without further ado, let us go ahead and get into it. So, if you guys don't know, I posted a tweet a couple of days ago, actually. It was June 21st, so 4 days ago. I posted a tweet talking about the roster. Obviously, at SportsLover1517 is the Twitter handle if you guys want to go follow. Just a quick little plug right there. But I posted a tweet regarding Team War Ready's roster. Let us go ahead and talk about it. So, number one, we have Wendell Green Jr. He is coming back. Last year, he had 23 points, I believe, in the first round loss that Team War Ready received. So, hopefully this year that's different and they can keep on going towards the next round. That is the goal, obviously, every year is to keep advancing to that next round. But another one, though, that we have, and this one is a little different because I believe he played at Florida State, if I'm not mistaken, and that is Posh Alexander. I don't know much about him, but he did play at Florida State and played at St. John's as well. So, very interested to see how he's going to fit into the lineup and see where they go with that. But another one that we have is Jaheim Hudson. Turtle Hudson, yes, if you guys do not know, played on Auburn's basketball team this year in that 2024 Final Four run that they had. He was a big part of it off of the bench for sure. Only played in limited number of games, but when he did play, obviously he was a big help in that. So another big man added to the squad, and Jaheim Turtle Hudson as well. Then we have Lior Berman. Lior Berman, if you guys do not remember, 2 years ago, he got hurt in one of Auburn's games. Can't remember which game it was, but he got hurt. Obviously, I think he had like a torn ACL or something, so he was out for the rest of the season. So he was on that 2023 championship team, I believe. He obviously graduated, took a year off. Now he's coming back and playing with Team War Ready and the TBT. Next up, we have Naheem McLeod, I believe is how you say that. He played at Florida State and Syracuse. Don't know much about the guy, but hopefully it's a good addition to this Team War Ready roster. Then, obviously, we have Malik Dunbar, everyone's favorite from that Final Four run in 2019. He is coming back this year as well, along with Wendell Green Jr. They both will probably be veterans on this quote-unquote team and will lead this team in that way in the TBT, and I'm very interested to see Malik Dunbar back in action as well. Then we got Tim Dagler, who played at Tulsa and St. Louis. Don't know much about that guy either, so we're going to skip that one. We have Darren Green Jr., played at USF and Florida State, transfer as well. Antoine Mason, he played at Auburn, I believe, a few years ago, actually, when kind of so-and-so the bad years, I guess you would say. But he is joining Team War Ready as well. Then you have Chris Moore. Yes, you heard that correctly. Chris Moore is joining the Auburn basketball squad. Number 5 on Auburn this past season was, again, another big that helped out a little bit in that Final Four run as well off the bench. So we got that. And then the big one, of course, is K.D. Johnson. Auburn basketball, obviously, transferred. He played college at, I can't remember what college that he played at. He played at the SWAC, though. I know that for a fact. But he transferred, coming back on this Team War Ready TBT team. So that's the roster that we have for Team War Ready right there. Obviously, looking forward to watching KD, Wendell Green, Malik Dunbar, to name a few. Leon Berman, I'm very interested to see how he plays as well. And then whoever they have at the 5 is going to be very interesting to see. But what I will say is that we need some big men if we want to make a deep run in this tournament. That is for sure. And without further ado, let's go ahead and predict the TBT bracket. So we got the bracket right here. Obviously, it is single elimination. So if you lose, you are done. Pretty plain and simple, self-explanatory there. We will start off at the left-hand side of the bracket where we got the Louisville Alumni, who I believe are the defending champions. Don't quote me on that one, but I believe they are the defending champions, versus Boston versus Cancer. I'm going to go with the Ville. It's a 1v8 game. Louisville's alumni squad is always really big and talented, and they like to bully a lot of people. So that is why I'm going with the Ville right there in that one. Then we have Sideline Cancer versus Mad Cats. I'm actually going to go with Mad Cats on this one. I know Sideline Cancer usually has a pretty deep run in the TBT, but I don't think they do this year, and I think Sideline Cancer, they get upset in the first round of the TBT. Then we have Team 901 and Florida BRC. I believe this is a 3v6 game. This is obviously a team that is led by Dominique Rogerson, making its return to the basketball tournament. And yeah, that's pretty much it. They got some really good players from what I can see here. But I think I'm going to actually go with Team 901 in this one. I think they upset the Florida team in that matchup as well. Then we have LA Ignite and Team Dissel. I'm actually going to go LA Ignite here on this one. Their name just sounds cooler, so that's why I'm just going to go with that one. And then we have LA Ignite, versus Team 901. I'm going to go with the LA Ignite on this one, as they will go to the quarterfinals. And then the Ville versus Sideline Cancer, or Mad Cats, I'm going to go with the Ville in that one. And then, of course, in the quarterfinals, we will have the Ville versus, obviously, LA Ignite. That's where I think LA Ignite's run comes to an end, and they will move, and the Ville, will move on out of that region right there. Up next, though, is, of course, the Lexington region. This coincides with the Ville's region, so we will predict who makes it to the finals in the TBT after we have everything all said and done for the semifinals. But for the first one, we got La Familia, the Kentucky Alumni, and Storm Squad. Obviously, I'm going to go with the Kentucky Alumni in that one. They're always really good, and they always make another deep run in the TBT as well. War Ready versus X-Fighter. I'm actually going to go with War Ready here on this one. I think that they're done losing in the first round, or at least I hope that they're done losing in the first round of the TBT. And they got a couple veterans coming back from last year, and Wendell Green and Malik Dunbar. So those guys will play an extreme role when it comes to leading this team in the first round. And I think that they actually do get the job done and move on to this next round to face the Kentucky Alumni. That is where I have the Kentucky Alumni beating Team War Ready here in Lexington and moving on to the quarterfinals. Then you have Duncan Boss, which is Louisiana Tech's alumni, and Tampa, Florida Pickup Basketball. That's a crazy name right there, but I'm going to go with Louisiana Tech's alumni in that matchup. Then we have Elberton Drive versus Richards Elite. Going to go with Richards Elite. They call themselves Elite for that reason. That's why I'm going to go with them. And then, of course, we got Tampa's Florida Pickup Basketball versus Louisiana Tech. Obviously, I chose Louisiana Tech, where I think they will move on to the next round to face, obviously, the Kentucky Alumni. And that'll be a good matchup, actually, in the semifinals right there. That'll be a really good matchup in the quarters. I think it would be in the quarters. The Ville versus Kentucky Alumni right here. Yeah, that would be in the quarters. That would be a really good matchup right there. And I think Kentucky Alumni takes the dub on that side of the bracket. So they move on to the semifinals. Let us go ahead and predict the other half of the bracket there with the Happy Valley Hoopers, which is Penn State's alumni, and the Raleigh 919 Legends. Gonna go with the Happy Valley Hoopers in that one right there. Obviously, I don't know what I'm looking at right here. James Madison's alumni team versus Next Era Elite. I'm going to go with Next Era Elite, actually. Their name sounds really cool, so I'm going to go with them. Some of these I'm just guessing. Rose Thunder versus Magic Show. I'm going to go with Magic Show on that one. Shell Shock, Maryland's alumni, and Love Virginia. I'm going to go with Love Virginia in that matchup. So we got, obviously, the Magic Snow versus Love Virginia in that one. I'm going to go with Love Virginia to upset Magic Snow and make it to the quarterfinal round. Then we got Penn State's alumni versus James Madison's alumni team. Going to go with Penn State's alumni because they are, of course, a Power 4 team. And I think that they make it to the quarterfinal round where they take on Love Virginia. And I think that Penn State's alumni team makes it to the quarterfinals in that one. Then we have Elite Nation. They obviously have already moved on for whatever reason. They get the bye. They're the number 1 overall seed, so they moved on. NAWF, I believe, is Florida or something like that. And Court Street Kings, which is the Ohio alumni. Going to go with the Ohio alumni. West Virginia alumni versus Dorrego's Dream. Going to go with West Virginia alumni on that matchup. And then, of course, heard that Marshall's alumni and the Ski Warriors. Going to go with Marshall's alumni there, where they take on West Virginia's alumni in that matchup. And I'm going to go with, obviously, Marshall's alumni to make it past. Then we got Elite Nation versus the the Ohio alumni. I don't know what I'm looking at here on my computer screen. But I'm going to go with, obviously, Elite Nation versus Heard That. And where I take Heard That, Marshall's alumni team is bound to make a deep run in this tournament. They will move on, actually, to the other semifinal round. So it will be Heard That versus versus Happy Valley, in the quarterfinals, where I go with Happy Valley, and they will take on the Ville in the semifinals, where the Ville will make it to the finals in that side of the bracket. Now, let's go ahead and predict the other side of the bracket really quickly. I'm going to go with No Excuses here at the bottom versus Wichita State's alumni team. Going to go with No Excuses there. Challenge ALS versus Austin, which is the Texas alumni. Going to go with the Texas alumni. Fire Family versus Run Dallas Fort Worth. Going to go with Fire Family on that one, as they will take on Forever, the Houston alumni, in the second round of the tournament, where I will go with the Houston alumni to make it out of round number 2, Then round number 3, they will take on, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to go with Texas's alumni. So Houston versus Texas alumni in that quarterfinal matchup right there. In that round 3 matchup, this bracket is super confusing. Then I will go with the Houston alumni to make it out of that side of the bracket. And then, of course, on the other side of the bracket, I'm just going to name one of the teams. I'm going to go with the drumroll, and I'm going to go with the Syracuse alumni in that one. So the semifinals, where will be set, obviously, with the Houston Academy and the Syracuse Academy, or the Syracuse alumni in that one. Going to go with Houston's alumni, and they will obviously make it to the final, where they will play the Ville. And I think the Ville is actually going to take the dub in this year's TBT championship matchup. Anyway, that is going to do it for the TBT tournament predictions and Team War Ready roster breakdown video. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comments down below. Do not forget to like, subscribe, turn that bell on. Let me know who you have winning in the TBT in the comments down below as well. I've got the Ville but obviously that could change, and given the circumstances, could definitely change throughout the tournament. However, again, leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn that bell on. We do our best to post on this channel every single day. Tomorrow we will talk about the Gold Cup and the knockout stage. Then we will talk about the FIFA World Cup and the knockout stage whenever that gets settled as well. So hit that sub, leave a comment down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.